Hi everyone, Yichya Melech. This is Yossi Edry. So today I'm going to talk about a couple things. It's all connected to the identity crisis, which is happening in America in specific elements. I think more or less people are starting to get over it and starting to mold their own identities. But there is still a big percentage of Americans which are still struggling with identity, and now it's also a very important time for all human beings to come together for some kind of a unified identity. So here are my points that I want to go through. We have human beings, then we have moral beliefs, we have education and understanding, and then we have history and culture. So human beings, first of all, human beings. Now obviously, this truly all ties in all together, because if you're a believer, so then automatically you know that human beings were created by God. And if you're an atheist, then you're waiting for like a bajillion years ago things started. So it all is relative, but we're going to try to categorize it separately so that we can get some kind of an understanding or mutual understanding of these topics. So human beings have human rights, and human rights was something very, very important which came about especially after World War II, which was the world's biggest genocide ever in history, I guess, as far as I know. 72 million people, according to some estimates, over 100 million people, depends when you're starting the war, died in the course of World War II. That is numbers that today we cannot understand. 100 million people dying is not something that, so the world, was till then, everyone was listening to the governments, and everyone was used to listening to the government. So when the government said you have to fight to protect the fatherland or the motherland, the Russians were protecting the motherland, the Germans the fatherland, and everyone else the brotherland. And before you know it, there's a pile of bodies, 100 million people, all assuming they died for a cause, or all being killed by someone else, which thought that they're the problem in humanity. And when they're going to die, in Judaism we say schar mitzvah, mitzvah, schar avera, avera. The reward of a good deed is the good deed itself, and the reward of the bad deed is the bad deed itself. Forget about the end goal of your war. Fact is, 100 million people are dead right now, and that is not good. That itself is a problem. So humanity entrusted government, and the government used the people to destroy each other, and without anyone telling the government that they did anything wrong, they realized themselves that they abused their own power and the people to such a bad extent that they need to fix it, even if the people don't even realize what just happened. And that's what the United Nations was. United Nations and the Geneva Convention and all these other things started a little bit after World War I and continued after World War II to this very day, where human rights are protected. To eat, to sleep, to a fair trial, and so on and so forth. Of course, the 7 laws of Noah could really give a boost to the whole situation if more and more people will learn about it. And we invite our viewers to check www.770.com and check on the 7 laws of Noah. There's also the book, The Divine Code, which is something that every single human being should have in his house, which truly gives a moral compass in our day and age. So, the universal understanding that people have human rights was a breakthrough. And after that, we're going to move on. So that's the concept of humanity. And humanity basically means don't insult someone because of anything. He's a human being, he has his rights, and he needs to be respected. And, that's it. The status of respect, innocent until proven guilty, that is humanity. You walk down the street, you don't smack people because they dress a different way. jump out on people because they have a different opinion. You can have a different opinion. Shutting other people up is not the concept here. The concept is you can advise, you can recommend, you can advertise a different opinion, but shutting someone else up completely just because you feel inferior. I am more of a privileged human being than him. It doesn't. Now, I'm not naming any stereotypes. I'm not getting into black, white, Latino, Jewish, non-Jewish, Christian, Muslim. I'm not getting into that because, again, we're talking on a very general spectrum. We're talking on human rights. Now, there's a time when humans have to be aggressive, and that's when aggressive behavior occurs. If someone's killing, stealing, cheating, lying, stepping on his fellow man, disrespecting other people's rights, he must be, explained that he cannot do this, and he must be dealt with harshly, just like you educate a child. You educate a child, you have to educate a child. There's no other way. And that's when the harsh measures come in. But again, innocent until proven guilty, and only in an educational, constructive platform. All the schemers, all the scammers, all the liars, all the people that are jealous, all these people need to change up their ways real fast, because humanity is upgrading real fast, and humanity will not be able to sustain cheating, slimy swindlers for much longer. Moral beliefs. Many people believe in moral beliefs as cultures of peace. I have my moral compass, which I take with me, and I say that morally this shouldn't be done, morally this should be done, and so on and so forth. This is very important, and this is something that is the treasure and the eyeball of humanity, of families, and of cultures. We're talking about the moral belief. You believe that a person deserves not to be tricked, not to be stolen, not to steal from them. The small little things that you have accumulated throughout your life. Some people say, my friends, for my friends, this is how I deal. For other people, oh my God, they're probably all out there to kill me. Okay, so the way you deal with your friends, so just expand your friends, okay? Because you need to use morality not only for your friends, but for the whole world. Okay? So that's very important. The moral conduct is usually, even the most aggressive people use it in order to maintain some kind of more normalcy in their messed up life. All you need to do is build on that. Your moral beliefs need to extend to a broader spectrum of people till you can understand that the whole world is not out there to kill you, and you can respect every person and give him his space, to the best of your ability. Education and understanding. Education is very, very important, because if someone doesn't know how to write and read or go online and do his research, if someone is not educated, if he's not taking class seriously, if he's not learning, doesn't matter where he's learning, but he has to be educated to a certain extent. Even if he's being educated, let's say a communist education, or a Jewish education, or a Hindu education, or a Muslim education, whatever education is available to you, first of all, master that education. And then once you master that education, you can go out and with those tools master other educations as well, and then make perhaps some kind of a conclusion out of your exploring of the human race. So education is very, very important, and it comes hand in hand with understanding, because the more you understand, the more you educate yourself, you realize, wait, the whole world is not my little house, it's not my little community, it's not even my entire government or country. There are other languages, there are other cultures, there are other people, there are other groups of thinking, and it brings you to understanding, because once you understand that not everyone's exactly like you, and that everybody means well, so then you realize that just because they're different, it doesn't mean that they're against you. Just like you went to school and you were taught whatever you were taught, and that's what you stand for till today, so too they went to school and they were taught whatever they were taught, and that's what they stand for till today. So you understand much more the more you're educated. That's why it's very important that the educational system is open. The Nazis in Germany burnt the books, and many other cultures tried to destroy the books. Especially the Jewish people suffered this kind of persecution multiple times by multiple regimes throughout our rich history. Many governments and establishments tried to destroy our literature because education is understanding, and when you're trying to make conflict, understanding is your enemy. And when those regimes were trying to make conflict, education was their enemy, so therefore they destroyed the books. Now that we're in this digital age when almost all the information has been uploaded and preserved, it's very important to take advantage and learn as much as we can. History and culture. Many gems have been carried for generations, which consist of the history and the culture of where you come from. Jewish history, for example, is one that fascinates people worldwide, and I'm very proud to be a Jew and part of this rich history and rich culture. And I know that there are many other cultures, just like my friends on my channel here, Xuan Li, which has a Chinese culture, and many other cultures which have a lot of rich and interesting things to bring to the table. It's very important to know your history. If you know history, you won't repeat the mistakes, and you'll build on the success that was done. In the past, you can repeat success and omit mistakes. Just like we mentioned earlier, the fact that people would know that 100 million people died in the Holocaust, that itself, that staggering, scary number, will probably prevent a war just from hearing that number, because nobody is interested in dying. And as much as you like the drill and the adrenaline of getting on a tank or going out there and, stirring up some trouble, maybe you'll compromise for the latest Battlefield game or, some online gaming when you realize that 100 million dead bodies is not something that humanity wants to be celebrating anytime soon. Until this very day, the German people barely have any national pride due to the horrors that their government swept them into doing. So history and culture is something very important and should be the backbone of our identity. So now that we got all those things down, we'll talk about a few insignificant identity topics, which I don't think really need too much explaining. Recently, you have the identity crisis, LGBT community, all kinds of gender situations. You have women's rights, and I don't know what exactly the deal is. An unholy alliance between left wing and Islamists to suppress freedom of speech. I'm not sure exactly what's flying, but the point is that when it comes to black, white, Jewish people haven't been crying that they didn't get paid for 200 years of slavery in Egypt. And neither do I think that the black community should be crying that they've been slaves to the white man in America. Neither do I think the Indian people should be upset that the Europeans that came to America killed off half their race. You see, all these little things are basically excuses, and very cheap ones, to throw, the fact that you're not going to move on in life. In other words, I'm owed $1 billion. Now let me sit one foot on another foot and just wait till it comes. If you're truly owed that much money, then go out and get it. But if you're not, or if you realize that you're not really getting it anytime soon, then, bro, get out there and start working. So the same thing here. We all, no matter who you are, if you're Indian, Chinese, Japanese, American, if you're the red man, the white man, or the black man, the Asian man, it doesn't matter who you are, you need to get on with your life, and you need to develop as much as you can, And it's really a shame if you're going to find a cheap excuse to throw your failures on, or to say, oh, I haven't gotten a head start like the other guys did. It's really a waste of time. We need to get going, and the world is waiting for us in open arms. Of course, our best friends are God, truth, freedom, and justice. Peace out. Long live the King Messiah. Hope to see you, and hope you don't have any identity crisis.